Good morning. It is Monday, December 29th. I want to give the updates as usual. It was a good weekend. It was a good week. It was a good weekend. Um, I did get a lot done. I'm at the point where I can sit on the couch and edit media and do other things, which is great. I still have a list. Few more things I have to get done. I actually have so much on my phone that I want to use, and I'm just trying to figure out how and when to use it. And then the whole Canva thing. On Instagram, I just read this off. So I do tarot polls twice a day. Usually, so there's a tarot reader that I follow, and not so mystical terror, Jen, she does a poll every day, and today's was fantastic, but this message really resonated with me. And it says, there is transformation occurring in your life, and it's going to lead to good results. You may have suffered some kind of loss in recent past that has forced you to change your relationship with the physical world, and now that transformation is reaching its peak. Overall, this card is a good sign that you're heading for just stability and happiness. And I needed to hear that. I feel the change. The person I was at the beginning of this year is so different than the person I am right now, between friends and trips and events and just everything. I've grown in so many ways. I've met so many people, and I'm learning so much every day. I'm constantly learning. I started school again the beginning of this year, and now I'm doing 2 classes at once. I am knocking out what I can. I'm back in prep. I am all these things. One thing that is difficult was I had started looking into EMDR, which is helping to bring up repressed or suppressed memories through therapy. I looked into it in their spot therapy as well, very similar but different cognitive waves and the way that they use it. And I told my mom, mind you, I didn't have much of a relationship with her growing up. Her and my dad were both alcoholics, drug users. They were more involved with their friends. They forgot to feed us, all these things that I've been talking about and will continue to probably dive into a bit more. And as we got older, we went with my mom because she would have a boyfriend or somewhere. She had a steady job at least, even though I don't know how, because she called in sick all the time. I did too. I held a job for a long time while going through what I did after my dad passed, Dave passed, all these things, in and out of vendors. And so she had a steady job and she was able to keep a place, but she's very codependent, and that happens a lot in addiction. Very codependent, would always put who she was with above us. To this day, she will do that. Not as much, but it was difficult living with that. And there's a lot that happened when she was using, when she wasn't using. Her boyfriend that we moved in with, she had to stop drinking because she was going to die if she continued. Her liver was going to fail her, and she wasn't going to be. So she had to stop drinking, and she ended up with the guy that owned the bar that her and my dad used to be at every night. This is the bar that my mom said she was going to pick me up for my birthday from school, and I waited outside of the school for hours in the pouring rain. And she's like, oh, I didn't say that. And I'm like, you got off work early. You're drunk. You went to the bar. Like, you just finished talking about it as I sat quietly in the car after going to the lady who raised us, going to her house. Like, anyway, so when I told her I was doing EMDR, she was like, she got quiet and she was just like, I am so sorry. I'm so sorry for everything. And I'm like, look, it is what it is. Like, I need to work through these things because I know that they wake me up in the middle of the night, and I don't know what does. I don't remember the memories. I don't remember but there's something or some things that are, I feel it. And she had told me when we first started talking, I started talking to her because Dave had passed, and I was taking like help and emotion from anyone and everyone. I had just lost the person that I planned on spending my life with. And so I let her back in. She told me that she did not think that she could ever do an amends to me or my brother. She just isn't strong enough, and it wasn't going to happen. And I was like, I guess, cool. Let's just move on. That's something that codependent people do. And that, again, it comes from addiction. It comes from being a child of abuse, whether it's mental, physical, sexual, all those things, which all of the above. And I have a feeling it happened to her. I know it happened to one of her sisters, and I don't think she wants to remember it. She is very passive and like, well, I don't want to deal with it. So anyway, she got quiet and she was like, I'm sorry. And I'm like, look, I'm going to do this. I have to go through it. And then she wouldn't say anything for the rest of the call. Mind you, I don't like phone calls. If I'm doing a phone call, it's like, okay, where are we meeting? How's your, very brief. Me and my partner have like 4-minute phone calls unless we have to discuss something. Voice note me. That is the best way. Like, voice note me. Text is, I just posted that. Text is ambiguous. You don't have tone. You don't know what the emotion is behind it. Is it good? Is it bad? Is it not? Like, the voice is what gives it that intent. So anyway, we talked again once, and I was like, no, I don't come back to the peninsula because it gives me PTSD. I've told you this, like, with everything that happened growing up, and then with Dave, and every time I come back I have a breakdown. Like, I can barely get through SFO. I will fly through there. I'm doing so much better now. The last couple times I've had to go through it, it's fine. I get a sick feeling in my body. Rather be in Oakland, San Jose even, but mainly Oakland. I've had better experiences and memories and all that out there. And so I don't like going to and she's like, really? And I'm like, do you not listen to what I've said? I've let you in my life for 8 years, and you really don't, like, you are just like one of the rest of the family. Like, my family is my family, sure, they're blood, but they, again, from alcoholics, from abuse, from all these things, if they didn't hear it, they didn't see it, it didn't happen. And that's how they played it with us. Like, and they had shit on their plate and whatnot, but I didn't grow up with a good amount of my family. There wasn't a lot of time with my family. And when I did, it broke out into just chaos. And so they're cool. I'll say hi, but the people that listened to me, that talked to me, that wanted to actually help, those are the people that came into my life over the past 20-something years. They listened. Growing up, the lady who raised me, Nora, she listened. She understood. She knew what was going on. Unfortunately, she went down a path with drugs, and I think she was, but at that point, I was living on my own. I was like 12. I had to move out on my own. I was trying to finish school. Like, yeah. I went into 6th grade doing pretty well. I was part of band and all kinds of good things. 7th, 8th, cutting, we moved in with my mom's boyfriend. My mom's boyfriend was physically and verbally abusive. His son was, I had to move out on the couch at some point so that his 22-year-old son could have a bed. This is a man that didn't have a job and had a child with 3 or 4 different girlfriends that he was playing. Like, you want 3 or 4 girlfriends? Cool. Be honest about it. Stop dipping and dodging and trying to hide from people. So anyway, there was a lot there. So all to say, we'll come back to the fact that my mom, she doesn't get that I had to let her go at some point because she was so codependent to another boyfriend down the road that I couldn't stand it. She was actually the person who was her first sponsor was codependent on her and was using her. And she finally saw that. Her boyfriend, not so much. My brother stopped talking to my mom because of him, because he got a room in her house to live in for free while my brother had to go and pay for a room in my mom's house. Like, again, make it make sense. Where's the love? Where's the caring? Where's the support for the people? So, when we talked, I was like, you don't get that I have PTSD from the Bay? Like, cool, we're family, but you're like an aunt to me. I can't do this. And I was like, I really think that you might need therapy because you seem to be hurt by the fact that I said I'm going through therapy to remember this stuff. And she's like, you're probably right, but I don't want to. I'm not okay with it. Cool. I just don't think that I can do more than say, hey, what's up to you? Because it means something to me. So cool. Like, hey, what's up? You're setting the tone. I'm setting the tone. Whichever way. We got to meet in the middle. This is how it's going to be. You don't reach out often to say hello. You don't send text messages. Like, you cannot figure out how to use a voice note. When I do not want to be on the phone, I've made that very clear. And so, I talk to my cousin all the time because we do voice notes. We send messages to each other consistently, and we know what's going on in each other's lives all the time because of it. If your form is writing a text message, that's great. But I'm like, right now, I have messages coming in. I can't read them. I'm not going to read them for a while because after this, I need to get to work while doing homework, while setting up for the rest of the week. I have an Airbnb room to clean. I have my room to clean. I have the dog to get walked. We have lunches. We have all these things. Like, it's a Monday, and even though it's a holiday week, like, Monday this week is actually busy, and the rest of the week, I have things that I have to do. I take the time later to sit down and read the messages. I don't always have time for that. Might be a while before I get back to you. And if you're cool with it, that's fine. But you're not even sending me text messages. You're just like, hey, let me know when we can talk. I don't know when we can talk. I don't know. I'm not scheduling a fucking call. Like, I schedule everything throughout the day, and it's back to back. When I get a chance, I call people, I send a message, we get back to each other when we have time. So, all that to say, she set up a call, I don't know, a month ago, and she was like, I don't know, maybe I was just tired the last couple times that we talked, but I feel like you were upset. And I'm like, do you not remember the calls? You're going to blame it on being tired? Like, you were fully awake when we talked. You were on your way getting ready for yoga in an hour. Like, what the fuck? No, again, this like, woe is me bullshit. You're gonna pull, oh, maybe I was tired. Own to your shit. You don't like what I'm doing and you're scared. Talk about it. I still see her do this with her husband. Like, talk about these things. It helps to get them out. Nobody's calling CPS on you. Like, whatever. Even when CPS was called, they didn't do shit. Which happens in many households. It has to be pretty extreme for them to be able to pull children out. Anyway, I was put into a group up home at one point, and it was the best fucking time. I was so upset when I had to go back home. That's when I moved out and was like, I'm done with this shit. So anyway, I just can't deal with somebody who cannot deal with their own issues and trauma and just wants to pretend everything is okay. I am happy with my life. I am living in my life, but I am still working through my traumas. I'm still working through memories that come up. I'm still hurt from a lot of things. Even with the person I'm with right now, I see us where we were 4 years ago, where we're actually sharing thoughts and emotions and what we did through the day. And I got pregnant. I didn't know I could. It was a surprise to both of us. And that tore us down. It tore trust. It tore so many things. There were emotions. I was scared. He was pulling away. All these things. And we stayed friends. We stayed trying to make things work, but we were pushing things, right? Like, round into a square, and it was not working. It wasn't until earlier this year that I was visiting a friend, and she told me about her relationship with her therapist and cognitive disorder, and how she was placing what the scenario was without actually getting the details. And there's always Pandora's box, right? Where until you open it, you don't know what's in it. And so I grew up with stepbrothers and his friend, or stepbrother and his friends that were players, cheaters, just, you know, they stole cars, they did all kinds of shit. That is not everyone, but that's not the way I saw it. My mom and dad, makeup to breakup, constant, you know, it didn't matter. My grandparents were both together for forever, but everybody in my life was constant makeup to breakup. And so I just figure, if you're not responding to me, you're cheating. You're, you know, all this shit. And I was like, I shouldn't do that because I know that this person does care about me. And there are times where I'm like, I'm still not sure what you were doing. I think you were trying to piss me off, but I should have let you talk. And I shouldn't have said, well, this is what you're doing. This is how you feel. I'm not asking him how he feels. I've learned that it takes him longer. He thinks before he talks. So there's a lot of times where I just have to leave silence, and I am uncomfortable in silence. I don't pause very much when I talk. But I have to leave silence and give him a chance to talk. And these are things that were very, very difficult for me to understand and to feel and to be okay with. And it doesn't mean that this is going to work, but it feels good because we are sharing and we are learning and we are doing things together. And it's where we were 4 years ago. We started dating 5 years ago. First time we dated for a couple weeks, and again, cognitive disorder. I'm like, no, this is what you're doing. No, it doesn't mean that's what you're doing. It's the beginning of dating. You just need to fill each other out. Second time, he gave me all the time and attention. It was almost love bombing. But he needed space later. He needs to use his words. So a lot of it is just realizing he needs to use his words, but I need to give time to talk and figuring all this out. So, yeah, that's this weekend. There's been a lot of realization around all of this. So this message that I got this morning, it really resonates. I love it. I feel it. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a great week. I will start posting these closer to the date that I record them. Now that I'm getting more caught up, I keep going back through my videos and photos, and I'm like, oh, there's one, and it's because it's more than 20 seconds. And I'm like, oh, there's an update. So, I really want to do an intro. I want to show you guys my workouts. I want to show you guys my photos, my physique, all those things, so I can do that. I just ate. And yeah, I will say I've had to go to the bathroom a lot just to pee, but I am super dehydrated, and even my scan this weekend showed that I am dehydrated. So my goal is to get more fluids in me. I am going to go to Restore and do an IV drip this week. I had moved it out to Saturday, but I'm trying to decide if I want to do it tomorrow. I also don't want to so just trying to find, I don't want to wait too long, but I also want to do it after I do combat. Just trying to figure out what the best time is, but I'm definitely going to try to stay hydrated. But I feel dehydrated. One, it's cold, and two, germs are going around. So I'm going to do my best to not get sick like everybody else, and just stay hydrated. I'm eating fruits, which are high in carbs, so I'm trying to balance that and just figure out what I can and cannot have. I made spaghetti sauce out of the Abbott's Italian meat with TVP, and I'll put that with Kaizen. I finished off the meatloaf cups, and I will make more of those. I made a cauliflower fried rice with Abbott's chicken and edamame, that and pineapple. That's really good. And then, I used the Abbott's beef and TVP to make enchiladas. So they are great, high protein. I'm going to add these in, hopefully by this one. I actually have added photos and macros and other things in, and yeah. This is going to come to an end. I'm recording it through Instagram because it does the best recording and holds the longest. Have a wonderful day, a wonderful week. I will see you in the new year.